Have you ever asked yourself what happens to your data in the internet? Yeah, no, every day. Good, then we might have someone with a solution. Yvan Monneron is 23 years old and he studies mechanical engineering at ETH Zurich. And he thinks and acts upon what happens to private data all the time. He's the founder of the startup Snowhaze, which developed a private browser and an anonymous VPN service to actually fight against data collection by big companies. And he's here to tell us how large companies dictate what we think and what we do. Yvan, the stage is yours.
Thank you, Tanya. Good evening. I think everyone agrees that we are the ones defining who we are and what we think. Usually, it's not that simple. Who of you tonight is afraid that someday their data might be stolen on the internet? Descartes once said that we are because we think. But is it also true that we are what we think? And if somebody can influence what we think, can they influence who we are? Back in the days, not in my days, I'm too young for that, but I think Joel remembers, back in the days, we chose what news we wanted to read. Today, with the rise of social media, it's the opposite. The news comes to us. And all the content we see online gets filtered and is adapted to our interest and beliefs. This is the entire business model of big companies like Google and Facebook. They try to personalize their ads to best match our own interest. And that's how last year they made $175 billion in ad revenue. So one day, I was comparing the news that I was getting with my friend Alin. We don't always have the same opinions, but we get along pretty well. And we realized that we wouldn't see the same news. And this made us really angry to see that somebody else would decide what news we would see. Shouldn't we all be allowed to base our opinions on the same premise? We quickly realized that we were caught in our filter bubble, and we only see the information that lies within this bubble. But there's so much more information outside of it that we have no chance to access. If all the content that we see online is adapted to our interest, and if I don't get challenged with opposing views, I slowly start to believe that everybody thinks the same as I do. And this is not only threatening to our personality, but also to our democracy, because we lose the ability to understand people who have different opinions as we have. That's when I remember George Orwell's novel 1984, where Big Brother and its totalitarian regime was trying to control what people think by reducing the amount of language that they use. Could it be that big companies do the same? By reducing the amount and diversity of content that we see, they change the way we think and the emotions we feel. This only pushes me deeper into my filter bubble and further away from Alin's ones. As a result, we are both further away from reality. We wanted this to change. We wanted to be the ones who choose what we get to see. And to make this change, we asked ourselves, what could we do about it? How can we change that? First, we would force ourselves to break out of our filter bubble, to confront ourselves and to get in touch with people who have different opinions as we have, and talk to them. And this has led us into very inspiring discussions. As a second step, we started to protect the data that we share online, because all the data we publicly share online are possible points of attack for manipulations. They need to have some data about you to influence you. We should be the ones who own our data and choose what happens to it. what news we want to read, whom we want to share information with, and what data we want to protect. Since that day, we both feel closer to the people who surround us. We get to choose what we see, what we think, and therefore who we are. I would like to ask all of you tonight to do the same. Start talking to people who have different opinions as you have. Protect your data on the internet, for example, simply by using a private browser like we develop at Snowhaze, and break out of your filter bubble. There's so much information out there. The world of information is huge like an ocean. Let's stop it from being filtered. Let's stop it from becoming a pond. Thank you very much.